Ndị ba ekene m unu. Asị na ụbọchị nketa dị na mma. Asị ka go chiri ya zelu. Dịka o si dị, dịka si kwuru nkwa. A ga-enye m daily update gbasara maka ya bụ ife na-ada na-akpọtụ n'obodo nọ n'ime ya na nwere onwe ndị Igbo na-azọ. Dịka o si dị, online iru akwụkwọ. Onye na funile akwụkwọ bụ nwanne anyị nwoke bụ Chief Dan Ulasi. O nwere ife wetela n'ụbọchị nketa. And ife onye ọbụla kwesịrị ịma. Ife onye ọbụla kwesịrị ịtọ ntị na gee ya bụ ife maka ọ dị nnukwu mkpa. Dịka ihe ga ya bụ ife o wugasị okwu o kwuru gbasara maka the political game a na-agba n'ebe Maazị Nnamdi Kanu nọ and ihe mere aka jide ya n'ụlọ nke mkpọrọ nke nọ na DSS nke dị n'Abuja. So many things o kwukwesịrị n'iru akwụkwọ ife o kwuru erika mana mma chukwu ga ya bụ ife ka ọ nọfu ihe okwu unu ga-esi ọ na-atụnyere ya arụ nke unu ifu nche n'iru akwụkwọ gbasara maka ife ndị a niile okwu gasị. Alright, over to you, sir.
You know, it's a forward-looking, positive, very brilliant chap, very extraordinarily brilliant chap. If you hear him speak, you would think he didn't go to school.
What is government really concerned about releasing him? Is it that when he's released there's something, you know, maybe there will be an escalation or you know, of some of the evils happening in the southeast? You know why I'm asking this? Because I know there have been court pronouncements regarding his case.
You know, I believe some people are profiting from this detention because I looked at the Supreme Court judgment. Out of about 10 major things the Supreme Court spoke about and condemned the federal government of Nigeria, I was live in the Supreme Court. The only thing they finally said that the case should be referred back to the High Court afresh. They condemned the federal government for attacking his compound, and that was why he escaped from the country to Tawi. Who will hear that government wants to kill you and you stay there to wait for them? Number one, this is the Supreme Court of Nigeria giving judgment. The appeal court did something and the Supreme Court upheld it. Unfortunately, instead of asking that he should be released, they said that the case should start afresh from the High Court. That is where we are. You know, so it's difficult to believe if we have good leadership or if we have good leadership presently in our governors. There should be serious demonstration. Very serious. What harm is this young man to this country? Because if he comes out, there will be 80%, what will I say, security, you know, cover in the southeast. People will be so glad and happy that he's out, that if you ask them to get involved in crime when he's out, walking about, it will be difficult.
Okay, see, but I'm not from the southeast, but I've heard a different sentiment where some people don't feel comfortable having him around. They've actually said some pretty strong things against it, especially with his secessionist tendencies. That they've actually supported this view that it's not wise to have him out.
You know, there's something I was saying, I will kill you. How do I kill you? Spoken word. You know the level of spoken word ever said in this country? The wife of the president of this country presently said that Igbo should leave Lagos and they will inherit their things. Isn't that the worst comment? When he was saying it, she was saying it, she didn't know she would be first lady of this country. Can she regard herself as a mother of the southeast? Igbo should leave Lagos and they will inherit them. The Oba of Lagos made even worse than that Igbo should perish in the lagoon. So why won't our people be saying, if you don't want us, let us go? You cannot be shorter than me and be taller than me at the same time. So there has to be, that's what I said when I started talking. We don't have, our people don't feel part of this country. Because the attitude, the spoken word, the behavior of government doesn't show that they want us to be part of this government. Just because of the civil war. But look at what is happening. Is Nnamdi Kanu responsible for bandits, for Boko Haram, for all the kidnappings going on in the northeast and northwest? Things have gotten worse than they used to be. Was it Nnamdi Kanu that started them? Nigerians are protesting everywhere for hunger. And the Buhari government, Tinubu's government have become a human embodiment, you know, of so many things, including, you know, what you could call reasonable doubt. Nigerians are now expressing reasonable doubt on anything that comes out from the mouth of the government. They spread an epidemic of false information everywhere, and it's becoming traumatic. Tell me what you point out, that the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Vice President, President overseas, and look at the wishy-washy reasons they were given. The president of Senate is there, ministers are there, this is, and they forget that the Constitution says that the president is the president of Nigeria and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria. With president of Senate given, and there was no handover. Unless you people have one that you didn't show us on your news. No official handover. The vice president is somewhere in Switzerland talking about hundreds of millions of dollars for one digital economy something. When hundreds of, like you people said on the newspaper review, if it was a normal country, 160 something people died of tanker explosion, and all leaders of Nigeria are abroad. They're all abroad. President is on leave. Where is he spending his leave? It's in London and Paris. Finally, they'll end up in Dubai. There's madness in this country. There's madness. I'm expecting there has to be a people's revolution. 774 local government, water is not running any one of them. And people are shamelessly. Have you seen where governors move? 20, 25, 30 vehicles, blowing siren, road open, road closed. Tell me which governor in this country, either past or present, that will take you to his village and water is running. We're all in Nigeria. And water is running. Somebody was asking me, that they watched my program on Arise television discussing River State. I said, you know why? That I've not met, what is his name, Onyeson Wike, one-on-one. But go to Port Harcourt and see what a man did in 8 years of governance. He's now on 1 year in FCT. Don't you see a difference? We had one Bello here as Minister of FCT for 8 years. Was there any change here? They were just distributing land and selling. Look at the difference. So to that extent, I have appreciation for people, especially this quarrel between him and his governor. You know, and a lot of friends called me from Port Harcourt, said, Dan, please try and reach them. You're a top member of our party. I said, what is the problem? I had the governor in his interview and I had Wike in his interview. And he boldly said, have you asked him for money? You know, because I had this singular privilege when I was directing campaign in the Southeast for Atiku Abubakar to go to President. Wike invited me to Port Harcourt. And I went. That was the day I met this Fubara. And he came in with some files and then Wike said, Oga, this young man here will be taking over from him. He will be next governor of River State. I said, if God wills. Wike, you're speaking as if you're God. And I said, no. And the young man said, this Fubara said, if God wills. And I made one comment to him. I said, no, you're going to run the affairs of one of the richest states in this country. He said, yes, sir. Every month you might see about 15, 20 billion naira under your control. You make anybody you want to make. That money or power or both does not change a human being. It reveals whom you are. It happened in Anambra with Ngige and the Obas. That's what is happening in Rivers. Because somebody was telling me, that he appointed everybody. I said the way he was picked to be a candidate was the way Wike begged a lot of people, top people, with promises. If you help me make Oloye the governor of Anambra, you will be commissioner, you will be board chairman. Was he the one who made himself?
Chief, before you make me governor, so in the last couple of minutes you've actually crossed like about 3-4 different topics which I would like you to probably give us a little bit more insight.
Yeah,
on the issue of the protests, for example, you talked about protests. What do you make of the protest? I mean, has it made any difference?
Which protest?
Okay. That's your answer.
Okay, no, really, I think the point you talked about the advice that is being given about the policies of the government and how it is affecting the people. Yes. You talked about people protesting, crying of hunger and hardship and all that. But today on the papers, the World Bank is also advising Nigerian government not to reverse its policies, saying it will spell doom for the country if it does.
We have that what I've been telling us for the past. Since for the best of my knowledge, because we go to borrow money from them. So foolishly, whatever they tell us, we foolishly also accept it. For an oil-producing country, if there is honesty, corruption has become genetic in this country. If not, we should be able to say no. Since all this crisis started, for the first time in this country, people demonstrated about what? Hunger. It has never happened in this country. And the whole government is outside the country. I have never seen where a government set up a committee. Let's start with famine. are the major centers of farming in this country. Benue, Niger State, and a few other places. How do we protect farmers to go to farm, produce, and then bring it out? How do we encourage vigilantes, arm them to protect these farmers? You don't see government talking about that. Because there will be no money to be stolen from that process. There will be no money to be stolen. If it is one you pay for people to do genuine work. But if it is to run a fronting highway from Lagos to Calabar, 15 trillion, and give it to Shaguri Group, and then to spend 22 or 21 billion to do the vice president's house, there are things happening you don't believe human beings are doing it. You can't believe it. This is a very peaceful country. Because if it happens in some other places, the place will be on fire. Now you go home with X amount of money. People who hitherto do not come to your house to ask for money. You will weep all over the country. I come from a fairly comfortable town in this country. I come from Neu. We are fairly comfortable. But people are begging. People are begging. You know. You don't know who have, like I said when initially, we have political gladiators that have exemplary life. Even in this present dispensation, I've just mentioned Enugu and Abia State Governor, showing example. We have business gladiators like Ibeto, Chikasin Group, still maintaining their industries, giving thousands of people employment.
Jobs, yeah.
And government cannot even pay their staff the minimum wage. What is happening to the money? And you don't see what they do with the money. So what I'm saying that there has to be a complete reorientation of our attitude. You know, for somebody to want to serve, like this president says it's his turn. If indeed people voted for him, would he be in Europe when his country buried about something people for tanker explosion? I remember when Angela Merkel was, Merkel or whatever she answered, was Chancellor of Germany. She was landing in America for a visit, and 5 people were killed in Germany. She entered the same plane and went back to her country, and they postponed the visit. But here, death is normal. When these bandits and Boko Haram started, I said here on this platform that Nigeria might be worse than Afghanistan. Where are we today? Every day. You know, if proper news is given about what happens in this country, it will be chaotic. Because there is a lot of problem, and we just pray God that some leadership in this country will start doing what Enugu and Abia State governors are doing, having empathy for the people. Because if there is empathy, if you are given 1 naira to function, okay, if you must steal 20 kobo now, use 80 kobo to function. But they will steal 60 kobo, and the remaining one will not be enough to do anything, and they eat the remaining. This is why nothing is happening. The most informative and annoying, my sister and my brother, 774 local government. It's a crime that not one of them, water is not running. So all waterborne diseases that you know, cholera, this, that, typhoid, everything. And we're praying that ask us to tighten our belts and you're losing your own. This is a very serious matter. Where we are at the moment is we're at the junction of tragedy. That's happening.
So, but in the quarters of the government, what they believe is that their policies would work eventually in the future, that this is a process that Nigerians must go through before we get to the promised land. And are you now saying they should reverse, at least one policy now, should that be reversed or not?
When this...
You answered this when we come back from the short break. We need to go to social media space, and so let's know what you think about this and how Nigerians are reacting to some of the trending stories on that space. We'll be right back.
Yes, lovers of freedom, we are keeping our eyes on the ball. Keeping our eyes on the ball. When we are doing analysis, these are the reasons we are doing analysis. Keeping things on the record that everybody will be highly alert on things that is happening in Biafran land, in Nigeria, and you can as well use your eyes to see the downfall of Nigeria, how it's falling, and you can be able to testify. We are recording some histories, please. We are recording some histories before coming out for analysis. Please stay tuned. This one now, this one is one album. This one is one album, and we are loading another one so that when we are analyzing and telling Biafra how Nigeria is being destroyed, we will not make mistake. You know, we are fighting Nigeria with a multiple dimension. Please stay tuned. Stay tuned. We are bringing another one, and we don't want to join the two programs together, please. Until we come back again, we will do three program today, three good program today. Please don't go. I will sign off and
Okay, ndị banyị ngwadalụ nenu kunu siwe leso la yona nugonu ife nwanna nwoke bụ Chief Dan Ụwansi kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ ka ife nwere ekwu n'ụdị nke gị gbasịta maka ebe ife ndị a niile ọ dọtagasị aka gbasịta maka the political game a na-agba n'ebe Maazị Nnamdi Kanu nọ. So ka ife nwere ekwu gbasịta maka ya drop ụra ife iche n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụdị nke gị egwuna ka ọha n'ọnụ ka emesịa na ụmụ Igbo.